This video was published by mbkpinternational.com. In this video, I'm just going to show you the proper cutting procedure for these Guillotine EC19 Pro version 2s. We got people when they first get this, they sometimes do things they shouldn't, and it could blow a fuse. Basically, not a big deal, but just to prevent from blowing fuses, I do have some paper in it there, but I'm not going to cut it. It's not quite close enough to cut it. But so here's the proper cutting procedure. You push reset, and you push and hold both these buttons, and you do not let go until the blade comes all the way back to the top and stops. Okay, now I can let go of the buttons. And that's the proper cutting procedure there. Now what we're going to do next is I'm just going to do a cut, and I'm going to show you what not to do. What a lot of people end up doing, I don't know if they're just a little bit scared when they first use it or what, but they'll do a cut and they'll let go of the cut buttons in the middle of a cut, and then they're like, uh-oh. So then the first thing everybody wants to do is go again, and that's the last thing you want to do, because this cutter is designed to start from the stop. It gets a little momentum and it goes through it easy. If it's stuck in the middle of a cut, it's very hard to get it started again. So the proper procedure is just to hit reset and then hit these two center buttons instead. And it will reverse it back to the top position, and then you can just finish your cut. Just like that. And it's pretty simple. Just hold the cut buttons until your blade is finished moving back to the top position. If for any reason it stops in the middle of a cut, whether you release the buttons or you got too much paper or your blade's dull, always reverse the blade by pressing this one first and pressing the two center ones. Things that can cause the blade to get stopped in the middle of a cut again is let go of the cut buttons too soon, cutting two stacks of paper side by side, cutting 17-inch length paper, like over 2-inch height and stuff like that. This cutter is designed to cut one ream or around 2 inches high of standard 20-pound paper. It will do that no problem. If you start getting, I've seen people do where they do two stacks side by side. You do not want to do that. It's too much for the motor. You do not want to do like 18-inch or 17-inch length cutter paper. It's 2 inches high. You want to cut that in half at least to an inch, maybe a little bit less. That's basically it. You just gotta don't overwork the cutter. Another thing would cause it to get stuck if your blade's dull. If you use it a lot, and even if it's just been 6 months or so, blade can get dull if it's used a lot. So make sure you change your blade regularly. We recommend about every 6 months to a year to change your blade, but it depends greatly on how much you use it, so it's hard to say how much to replace it. But again, very simple. Just make sure you continue to hold the cut buttons until it's done. The only reason to release the cut buttons is if the blade's already came back to the top, or if the blade stops in the middle of a cut and it won't go through, then you want to release them, because you don't want to keep holding them, because then it would pop a fuse then too. And the reason why we have it just pop a fuse instead of let it keep struggling is because you can burn out a board if it didn't have those fuses blow like that. So again, just hold the cut buttons till it's finished with the cut. The blade moves all the way back to the top. Or if it gets stuck in the middle of the cut, you do want to let go then. It will stop, and I'll show you at the very bottom of the cut just for a half a second before it returns to the top. That's normal. So it stopped for a second at the bottom of a cut. That's normal when it goes all the way to the bottom and stuff. So you can let it. That's fine. You can keep holding the buttons and let it finish. You'd want to release the buttons if it's like halfway through or 3/4 or a quarter or whatever, and it stops and doesn't want to move anymore. Then you just reverse it. But that's basically it. This video is published by mbkpinternational.com.